Hey everyone, Random Randy here. This is Yarn Talk episode 87, I believe. If you are new to the channel, Yarn Talk is a knitting, crochet, and other crafty bits and bobs podcast guaranteed to give you your recommended dose of fiber arts in 60 minutes or less. If you are worried that your fiber intake may be lower than the recommended dosage, subscribe to the channel and don't forget to click the notification bell so that more awesome projects like these can keep your hands and your heart full. It's been a bit. I've been meaning to film this for almost a week now, and the weather has not cooperated. Nothing in my life has cooperated. A lot of things are happening, mostly good things. Mostly. Well, not necessarily good, but forward momentum type things. So, I am working on perfecting a pattern for one of the only things that I have finished this week. And the other thing that I have finished is actually in the wash because I've been wearing it. So the first thing I'll just tell you right off is the Rose City roller sock that I crocheted the basket weave top for. If I can find one of the pictures that I have from Instagram or wherever, I'll pop it up here so you guys can see it. And it's just, I like that the socks are more wearable for me now. I am not a fan of rolly topped ankle socks. And like I said, wool socks that are roll top ankle socks are not very practical for places where it gets chilly. So those are going to be super awesome to wear this winter. So now I have 2 pairs of knitted woolish wool content socks to wear this winter. That's so awesome. The other thing that I have is this right here, which is going to look ridiculous because it is still August and it is quite warm. So bear with me. Don't get frightened away because we all know that fall is coming. We all know that colder weather is coming. And no, I'm not jinxing anything, so nobody be mad at me. This is the Bermuda Triangle hat, which is a pattern of my own making that I actually started this past winter and then had a pretty hefty dose of imposter syndrome that ended up meaning that I never finished making it. Well, I finished the pattern for 3 different sizes, but I never really did a complete testing run through of it to make sure that it's all happy and everything is wonderful and functional as it should be with a pattern, especially when you release it to people. Even if you don't have a group of testers, if you're thinking of designing and selling or even having a pattern on your blog that's totally free for people, you should test a pattern at least 3 times yourself, in my opinion, to make sure you've got all the hiccups worked out of it. Because if you don't, then you're going to have people making it and complaining and getting in contact with you constantly. I don't get this part. This part doesn't make sense. Why doesn't this part make sense? And sometimes only having yourself do a pattern is difficult because your brain will fill in a lot of the gaps when you write it yourself that you don't realize other people's brains don't pick up on because it's not your brain, and something that was here didn't get on the paper. So then it's hard for people, which is why I like doing video tutorials to go along with my written patterns when I get the chance. But sometimes it's just not practical to do all of them. So this yarn is one of my favorite acrylic yarns. We all know this by now. Randy is a 90s kid and likes neon, and this is Red Heart Super Saver Black Light. So, this is the Bermuda Triangle hat, and I don't know if you will be able to see the stitches at all in this because this yarn is so busy, but, much like in my Hangetsu shawl, it has triangle stitch. Randy really likes triangle stitch. I don't know why. There's just something about it that is hyper satisfying to me. And I like it a lot. And this is one of those fake fur pom-poms that actually snaps on. If I can find where it is here. Yeah. So there is a snap portion here. There we go. And there's also a snap portion that fits into it that is sewn onto the bottom of the pom-pom. I bought a set of these on Amazon. I think there were maybe 12 of them. I still have a few left and I want to use them up because it seems like the fluffy pom-poms are still a thing, and I will never wear one, but that doesn't mean that other people won't. And if you're trying to sell things, sometimes you gotta make things that you wouldn't wear, knowing full well that somebody else is going to fall in love with it. So, neon pink fluffy pom-pom to go with the neon pink in the hat. Pretty good match, I thought. So that is the second and only other thing I have done this week, because all I still have to do with that granny square top is join it together, and I just haven't had time. It's sitting right here next to me. It's been taunting me. It's been mocking me. Going, Randy, why? You're so close. Why? Why haven't you done it yet? I don't know. Actually, I do know, because life has been totally bonkers this past 2 weeks, I think, since I did a yarn talk. On top of all of that, if you haven't seen it yet, I released the Pint of Self-Care Ice Cream Cozy pattern video. It is also up on my blog for free, and that is www.randomrandy.rocks, R-O-C-K-S. And that will be in the video description down below the video if you're interested. I have some other patterns that are up there as well, and I'm actually going to be putting more of my patterns that I don't really think are saleable. I think both are actually words, but I'm not sure which is the proper one in this context. So we're just going to go with saleable because that's the first one that came out of my face, and your first instinct is usually the proper one, so we're going to go with that. Anyway, my patterns for things like the little voodoo doll that I make and the zombies that I have also made. They're teeny tiny patterns, and the way that they're written, I don't think that it would be worth asking people for money for them, so I think I'm just going to put them up on the blog and maybe put a video to go with it if enough people are interested, and call that good. So other than that, I just actually found a pattern that I'm going to be starting this evening for a friend's daughter's birthday. She's turning 4 this weekend, I think. So I found this super cute little shooting star, wishing star amigurumi that I'm going to make for her, and it's got like a little pocket on it, so you can write a wish on it and tuck it in the pocket and hope that it'll come true. I think she'll really like that. She's super into True and the Rainbow Kingdom, and I was looking for patterns for that, and I didn't find any at all. And the only thing I found that was a pre-made on Etsy that looked like anything that I could make in any reasonable amount of time was just the wishes before they turn into the specific wish, which is just like a little gold ball with a smiley face and little dots on the eyes, so it looks super cute. I was like, I don't know, it just didn't resonate with me, so I'm not going with that. We're gonna go with the shooting star thing. So I will pop up a picture of that, and I will link to that down below, and I'll probably have a picture of that finished for next time I do another one of these. So other than that, I went through my shelf of shame and discovered a lot of things that I hadn't been able to find for a while, because they were stuffed on the naughty shelf up over yonder, and I found them. I can't remember who I was talking with about it. Somebody asked me if shawl and a ball would be good to make a hangetsu with. Well, I had been testing it at one point, and then just got irritated and frustrated with it and put it away. But I found it. So this is where I'm at for right now with it. And this particular shawl and a ball, this is before they put it into cake form, which I think it still has the same yardage and everything. This is Moonstone, which in all the pictures online, all of this looked like it was red, so I was excited, and it's actually pink and magenta, which is not what I was expecting, but that's fine, because I'll probably sell this once it's done anyway. But yeah, this is where I'm at. I am just into the second pattern repeat right now. So I will probably do 2 or 3 more and then call it quits. I might use up the whole ball. I don't know. There's a lot of yardage in Shawl in a Ball, if I'm remembering correctly. It's been a minute. Yeah, there's 481 yards in here. It is cotton, acrylic, and other fiber, which would be whatever the metallic is. And I can tell you right now that this, I will eat my hat, and I don't even have a hat on right now, if that is worsted weight. That is not worsted weight. That is maybe a 2. Probably closer to a 1. That is not a worsted weight yarn. I think that's why I got so aggravated with working with this, because I was lied to, Lion Brand. You lied to me. So anyway, I found that. I am going to be working on finishing this up as my next thing. My next long-term work at rest that I'm going to be wrapping up to have less crap to take with me when I move soon. And no, there's still no date on moving yet, unfortunately, because everything with that is up in the air at the moment. Yay! Life is wonderful. So my other only active work in progress at the moment is buried in here. And this is a free pattern that I found on Ravelry. It is the Spree socks. It is a DK weight sock pattern, and you make it with, let's see if I can see, 3.75 millimeter needles. So I just have it on one of my big old circulars. And this is a top-down sock with a gusseted heel. And I'm gonna try and hold my hand as much like if it were a foot as physically possible. So this actually turns out to have a banded heel, which is a thing I really liked about the dyad sock. It's got this sticking out squishy part here in the middle, which I really enjoy if it'll actually focus on the yarn and not my face. Yarn, not face. There we go. This yarn is actually yarn that I got from, I'm pretty sure it was the Crochet Carousel package. Yeah, because it was the Malabrigo that she sent me for my birthday. So this was actually from the Crochet Carousel package last year that was run by Sonia from Cat Crazy Creations, I believe is the name of her channel. If it's not, I'm going to link it down below anyway. Sorry, Sonia, if I got your channel name wrong. But this yarn was actually from Claudia from Crochet Luna, and this is a Wolfie Wool yarn. This particular colorway is Spring Tulips, and I'm not gonna lie, I was super excited when I put the picture of the sock in progress up on Instagram, and the lady who runs Wolfie Wool actually replied to my picture. So super cool, not gonna lie. And it's so silly because I think that we forget that people that to us seem like stars and celebrities almost and a big deal, they're just people too, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure for some people fame has gone to their head, but I feel like for a lot of us, they're really just people, and they're just as excited to see us excited about their stuff as we are excited that they respond to us. So, like I said, this pattern is free, and this yarn is amazing. Look at the speckles. Don't get me wrong, I love the way speckles look with crochet, but sometimes things just need to be knitted. And I have been on a start seriously looking through my fancy yarns that I bought for things for myself that are just sitting there, and find something to actually do with them for myself kick lately. As much as I enjoy them in skein and hank and cake and ball form, I got most of them with the intention of making something for myself, even if I wasn't sure what it was. So now I'm making the yarn talk to me and tell me what it was. This is actually yarn that I dyed myself, and this is what my next pair of socks are going to be. This is Briefcase Full of Guts, which is from my very short line of hand-dyed yarns that I named after Death Clock songs from the show Metalocalypse. because I'm me. I'm me. Here I am. I'm weird, and I don't care. And if you care, well, I'd say I'm sorry, but I'm not. I love you anyway. Best of luck to you. But this is what it looks like. It's got pink and white and brown and speckles of red throughout it. It's a very interesting dynamic yarn. Speaking of that, I do still have a few hand-dyed skeins of yarn in my new shop over on Shopify, and I've actually had my first few sales on Shopify, which is exciting. I just recently came up with a different way to put together the bags that I sew, and I'm going to see if it translates as well to the drawstring as it did to the tote bags that I made. With the tote bags being interfaced as they were, most of them anyway. There are a few of them that I didn't interface. I feel like the construction wouldn't be that different from the way that I normally do my drawstring bags. It's just a matter of doing it in two separate pieces and then putting it together, rather than the very large folding sandwich version that I usually do with them, which if you don't sew, you're probably having a hard time conceptualizing that in your head, but if you do so, then you probably kind of got the gist, kind of sort of what I'm talking about with it. Anyway, so Bermuda Triangle hat pattern, I am hoping to have totally ready to rock and roll for September. That is going to be available for purchase in PDF format through Etsy, Ravelry, and my Shopify store. It is going to contain... which sizes did I end up having in it? So it's going to have a bulky weight adult version, a worsted weight adult version, and a 3 to 6 month old baby size and a kid size for worsted weight. Now I do give you multiples, and once you get comfortable enough working with triangle stitch in general, because it's heavily based on triangle stitch, then you should be able to make a kid or baby sized one with the bulky weight yarn as well without honestly hardly any trouble, even if you're somebody who's new to crochet. If you can manage basic math and use the charts that I usually provide on all of my hat patterns anyway that link to size charts that let you know what you gotta do for different sized heads, especially when you're making for selling purposes or gifting purposes and the person's head is not readily available to check the size, then definitely use a chart. They are super helpful and they make my life a million times easier. So, pattern stuff. Bags. I have what is left of them right here, mostly. So I did have 2 bags. I actually sent everything out in the mail today, but I can post a picture of what they looked like when they were done. I sent out the 2 tote bags that had a teal print that said Coffee Diva and had a bunch of really cool vintage circular photos of women sipping coffee, because coffee. But I have 2 more prints left for these totes. I do have 2 of each of these. I just have to finish 1 of each of the other ones. It's just a matter of putting it together, and after I was on such a good rip getting them done, I just lost steam, and I've got 1 of each done, and I can finish the rest sometime in the next couple of days. So these are a tote bag, and they are the size of my regular drawstring bags, so they're about 11 by 15 or 16, and they have a 5-inch across box bottom. These have a very heavy duty layer of interfacing. This particular style, it's got recipe, handwritten recipe style pictures on it, strawberries, strawberry pie, recipes for such. It's very vintagey, very cute, and like I said, it is heavily interfaced. It is very sturdy standing on its own, and it's got heavy duty poly webbing handles, so it can go right over your shoulder. So it doesn't have to just be a project bag. You can carry it as a handbag, it can be a gym bag, beach bag, picnic bag if you didn't have a lot of food. Maybe for the picnic blanket it could fit in here. It does still have the ribbon tab in it for keys, and I just recently ordered some tags for me to put on my bags, because could I make them? Sure I could, but every once in a while you need to stop expanding the types of things that you make, because it really cuts into the amount of time that you have to make the things you have perfected making. Anyway, so the other print is this one, and this is probably my favorite of the three. As you can see, it has all sorts of different baked goods on it, and it is wonderful. The inside is also the red and white checked gingham style, which I really like. It makes me think of a picnic blanket. It's the same size. So I do have 2 of each of these. They are available in my Shopify store, not my Etsy store. My Etsy store going forward is just going to be for PDFs, because I'm not going to fall in line with their $35 free shipping guarantee nonsense. Other than that, bags that I finished this week, I've got these 2, which have already been in my store, but this was a matter of just having to finish the bag so they'd be done, because I already had one for pictures and had the other ones laying in pieces. So I called this one, I think, STEM Girls, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, even though this is primarily science and chemistry. But anyway, lots of little tiny female people and science stuff, which is awesome. In the inside is this constellation print, which I don't know if you can see it or not, but it actually does have some silver sparkle, and it's not the type that sheds, which is awesome. So I just have to put the drawstring in this one. This is a drawstring bag with the normal handle. It's the typical regular size of all my bags. This other one has space stuff, planets, rockets, satellites, and the interior is also this tan galaxy print. So those have been up in my shop for a while. I believe that there's 2 of each of those, because I'm pretty sure I have 1 of each in my other bag-o bags stuffed in the closet. These last 2 are new, and they are also the tote style, which doesn't have any sort of closure. I didn't bother putting in snaps or zippers or anything. I just couldn't be bothered, and you know what? This works just fine for me for now. So this is a small version. I can't remember what this measured out at, but it's about the same size as my normal sock-sized bags, which are 12 by 10-ish, somewhere in that range, and it does still have the squared bottom. And the interior is a purple and black diagonal cross-hatched print. The outside is a chalkboard print with different types of wine on it. So there's this small one, and I have this other tall one left, which is about the same dimensions as my normal bags that I typically do this way, but it's tall instead of wide. I know that some people said that they prefer that style, so I'm gonna try and do half and half when I can. It all really depends on the way the print is on the fabric, how many I can squeeze out of it. So that is the last of my new bags. And the only other thing that I really have to say is I got to meet a viewer of the channel for the second time ever. It's the first time I've met this particular lady. The other person that I had met first was Tiffany from The Conscious Crafter, who hasn't made videos in a really long time, so I don't think she's going to anymore, which is fine. But I am still friends with her on Facebook, and I see her updates sometimes, which is kind of cool. But I got to meet Julie, and I got to meet her daughter Amanda as well, and Julie's granddaughter, which was super cool. They got to come hang out at our playground over on North Fort, which was super neat. It was a nice day, and they got to enjoy it, because this is the nice part of Fort Lewis. If you've ever been in the area, There's some parts of it that are pretty not nice and very urban in a not good way. So like I was saying before the camera cut off, I got to meet Julie, which was super awesome, and she was so sweet. Really so sweet. And she gave me this awesome mug, which is from Texas, where she is from, and it says howdy, and this is the silhouette of the shape of Texas for anybody from somewhere not in America who wouldn't instantly recognize that shape as Texas. And I'm drinking coffee in it, because coffee. And I really shouldn't be drinking coffee, because it's almost 6 o'clock at night. Adam took the boys out for a work thing where there is pizza, so they are super excited, and I'm trying to get this done while they're gone, because it's actually quiet. So there is that. And thank you to all the awesome people over at patreon.com/randomrandy. I am hoping to be getting more benefit stuff to you guys soon. That's part of the reason that I'm really trying to hustle on getting the Bermuda Triangle hat going. I'm also going to have a separate pattern that's going to have the cowl and a fingerless glove design to go along with it. I was going to combine them all as one, but it's really hard to fit that much stuff into one PDF and have it not be a big jumbled cluster cussing mess. So yeah, that. The last thing that I wanted to show, I don't have these listed up in my store yet, but by the time this video goes up, they should be listed. I made a bunch of stitch markers and progress keepers the other day. So I made 3 different styles of sets, and there are 4 or 5 sets available for each of these. So I'm going to show you these real quick. And then I'm going to get out of your hair, because I'm all over the place. It was so hot today that I actually took a nap. So my brain is kind of like scrambled eggs at the moment, I'm not going to lie. So these first ones are bee themed. There is this little golden bee, honeycomb, and if I can get it close enough and still have it focus, maybe, there we go. And this one has sort of honey-colored translucent beads on it. So these I would call stitch markers because they have the lever back opening, and I would call this more of a progress keeper because it has the lobster clasp, and honestly having to reopen that every round is annoying, even for somebody who doesn't have issues with my fingers functioning. I can't imagine someone arthritic enjoying working with a lobster clasp and having to take it off every row. No thanks. Anyway, this next one, if I can turn it so you'll actually be able to see it. This next one has a cute little glass lampwork fox, has a pine cone that is a progress keeper, and I think that's backwards. Yep. And also a teeny tiny little campfire progress keeper that keeps flipping around backwards on me. Anyway, it's super cute. I really like the fox. And the third set is all sea themed, because I know everybody's got this thing for mermaids and critters of the deep. Personally, I've always been a fan of flesh-eating mermaids because that makes a lot more sense to me for sirens to lure humans in and eat them. Maybe that's just me. I'm a creep. Whatever. So, if I can get it to hold still and focus. There we go. So, this is a little mermaid stitch marker with this pretty kind of blue and black swirled bead up here. This one just has a nifty iridescent bluish purple bead in the middle. This one is a bit danglier. It has an octopus and this double colored crackle glass bead. And this is a little stonework starfish. So those are up in my shop as well, or at least they will be by the time this video goes up, because it's going to take me a bit to edit it this evening. And any orders that go through the shop this weekend will be sent out first thing Monday, because I'm going to be gone all weekend because there's actually a race this weekend, not just a practice weekend, an actual race. So I might get some footage from that to show you guys, to add into the B-roll I've been compiling for a vlog to come out sometime. Who knows? I was hoping to commit to actual daily videos this month, but I will say I've gotten a lot more videos out than I have recently, so I think we're just going to have to roll with more videos than are typically delivered for the month of August. So we're just going to stick with calling it Vlogust because it's a lot quicker to say. So thank you so much everybody for watching, and I will catch you guys all in the next video. Bye guys.